Hello friends, welcome to Technique. This is Nirmal here and you're watching the detailed camera review of the new smartphone from Realme, the Realme 6 Pro. The Realme 6 Pro is the latest mid-range smartphone with great camera hardware in the form of quad rear cameras and dual selfie camera. So let's find out how the camera performs in this price segment. In terms of the camera hardware, it sports a quad rear camera with 64 megapixel primary camera with Samsung's GW1 sensor with f1.8. You also get a 12 megapixel telephoto lens with f2.5 aperture. Then there is an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera with 119 degree field of view and a 2 megapixel macro lens. There is also a LED flash included. So that was the rear camera setup. Now the front camera is a 16 megapixel f2.0 aperture with Sony IMX471 sensor along with 8 megapixel ultra wide angle sensor for wide angle selfies. So that was the front camera hardware. So let's find out how the camera performs. First, let's have a look at the video quality. The Realme 6 Pro can shoot 4K at 30 FPS without electronic image stabilization, and the footage looks great in terms of the quality and sharpness and also color reproduction. But the lack of EIS might be a deal breaker for many people who plan to use it for vlogging. The phone can record videos in 1080p resolution in both 30 and 60 FPS. There is EIS on offer, the footage looks stabilized but the quality is not as good as the 4K. While the colors are quite good, there is kind of jelly effect in the video and the sharpness levels doesn't look impressive. The phone can also shoot 1080p videos with ultra wide angle camera and there is also electronic image stabilization support available. The Realme is also bringing ultra stabilization via an OTA update soon. Moving to the photos, the daylight shots taken with a 64 megapixel camera came out pretty good. The first thing you notice about the images is how Realme has fixed the saturation issues, which is more or less evident on all their smartphones. The details are good and so is the sharpness levels. Realme also claims they have worked and optimized the Samsung's 64 megapixel GW1 sensor and hence the reason for going with it. There is good amount of details even when you zoom into the pictures. The phone also offers dedicated 64 megapixel mode. The phone also comes with auto HDR mode and the dynamic range is good. Another important feature of the Realme 6 Pro is a 12 megapixel telephoto lens capable of up to 20x digital zoom. The 20x digital zoom is quite decent for details if not for a real usable image. You can also do 5x hybrid zoom. The 8 megapixel ultra wide angle shots came out pretty good. Quite often we see brands not doing well for ultra wide angle camera, but that's not the case with Realme. While it doesn't offer clarity of the 64 megapixel primary shooter, it is still very much usable and offers good details as well. The close-up shots taken with the camera was good. It had good details and natural colors. We felt the sharpness levels could have been a tad better as some of the images were a bit soft in nature. There is also macro sensor which can shoot as close as 4 cm, but it is not as good as what we have seen on the Poco X2 which can go as close as 2.5 cm. Moving on to the portrait shots, we felt that the portraits are quite good and often offers good sharp images. The facial tones are also good. The edge detection is also very good and we did not see any sort of misses here. Next up, the low light photos. The Realme 6 Pro shots taken in low light came out well in adequately lit conditions. While the images have good details, there is visible amount of noise in the photos and it is pretty much evident when you zoom into the pictures. But the details aren't bad here, even though the sharpness levels could have been tad better. There is night mode on offer which definitely brings in more details and sharper images, and it is better to shoot in the night mode for extreme low light conditions since the details are much better along with better sharpness levels. Now moving on to the selfie camera. The 16 megapixel shooter does an impressive job with selfies. It can shoot some really great selfies with good details, sharpness levels and color reproduction. The dynamic range is also very good. The skin tones are good and so is the sharpness levels. We turned off the beauty mode since we like selfies without beauty mode. Since selfies are more of a personal choice, you can judge based on the clarity. There is also ultra wide angle camera for group selfies. While the clarity isn't as impressive as the primary, it still does a decent job altogether. There is also portrait selfies, which again does a good job in edge detection. So this is the video recording taken using the front camera on the Realme 6 Pro. It's a dual camera, and you can see how good the clarity of the video is and also the audio output from the front camera. So summing up, how good is a camera on the Realme 6 Pro? With an impressive camera hardware which is a quad rear and a dual front camera, the Realme 6 Pro does a good job in terms of the camera. Realme seems to have mastered the Samsung's GW1 64 megapixel sensor with every iteration, and here the quality has improved compared to previous devices. The colors are good and not saturated. The telephoto lens and ultra wide angle cameras are good and usable. While the low light images are good, it still needs a bit of fine tuning for better details compared to the Poco X2 with the Sony's IMX686 sensor. Also, the video recording in 1080p resolution was slightly disappointing considering the hardware it supports. We expect Realme to roll out an update for this. So that is a detailed camera review of the Realme 6 Pro. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. Do hit that like button and also hit the subscribe button for more videos and updates. Until next time, thanks for watching. Have a great day.